This is a KISS original on 1019 KISS FM. The geekdom is spreading. It is present at almost every turn. And it's only a matter of time before it comes for you.
Nothing in our solar system can help us.
Let the Geek Patrol be your guide as you delve into the worlds of science, gaming, and pop culture. This is Geek Tank Radio.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Geek Patrol, and our microphones don't have a stun setting. This season of Geek Tank Radio is brought to you by the Grimm Chiropractic Center, home of the 5-second spinal realignment. At the Grimm Chiropractic Center, they guarantee you will leave a different person than the one that came in. Back pain is only the beginning at the Grimm Chiropractic Center. I think he trained with that guy from The Dark Knight Rises in the jail cell. Quick and to the point is the way they do things.
Let's just, all right, look.
There have been days, though. There have been
favorite blue-eyed
days.
nephew does not have a gentle touch.
Well, I don't know. Alan, you may want to incorporate this into your physical therapy.
Dude, man, there have been days that would be very tempting.
Yeah. Anyway.
When we say
it's
we're going to
clobbering
crack your
time,
back,
all right.
we're going to crack your back.
Everybody may notice that there's only 3 voices here because, but we're the only ones who've shown up so far today.
Yeah, we don't wait. Geek Tank waits for no man or woman.
Yeah.
So anyway, welcome. Welcome to Geek Tank. Yeah, we're just getting started. You know, we're assuming the rest of the crew is going to get here at some point.
If they don't, it's going to be a really short show because there's certain things that they have to chime in on that we can't do without them.
Yeah, so it's all unfolding before your ears, dear listeners. We are gonna talk about science. I know that because Alan's here for sure.
Yeah, and he's got some sort of like fungus and IKEA. I want to know how those two go together.
Which is probably good if Brody's not in that discussion because he can't help but say the word fungus repeatedly. So I have a conspiracy for the ages, you guys. This explains the entire problem with the world and its worldwide domination. It's the biggest little conspiracy of all.
And I don't know I know you guys don't get to see these things and we don't have the cameras going right now, but Joe's got these little pictures over there and he's got red circles around Allie and Brody. I don't know why.
They're at the center. Alan, don't let Alan get off. He's in the middle of this thing too. So
I knew I was going to be in this someplace.
Yeah, artificial intelligence getting involved with film making decisions. That sounds like it can't fail. That'll be great. So and weird social media shows and things like that, and our Netflix.
Have you seen what normal intelligence has done with them?
Absolutely. But stay tuned too for our random because it is gonna get bizarre, and it's all coming at you next on Geek Tank Radio.
Geek Tank Radio. More below and on 1019kissfm.com. Keyword Geek Tank. No matter what nefarious plan he has cooked up, Alan always keeps it educational. Get banished to Professor Gilbreth's Science Corner.
We've been talking recently about, innovative solutions to problems.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Well, we talked a little bit about glitter and possible alternatives for it. So instead of being made of mylar, so it'll quit floating around the ocean for thousands of years.
Or our living rooms.
Or at living rooms, or wherever glitter happens to wander off to.
Edible plastic.
We talked about the rings for your 6-pack.
Right.
Yep.
Could now be made out of a waste material from breweries.
Yep.
Which
can be eaten by turtles.
Gluten.
Could be eaten by, whatever critter comes across it.
Turtles are cute.
I know, turtles are terribly cute. Well, IKEA has joined the forefront.
Tell me they've created furniture that I can eat after the apocalypse.
Well,
edible furniture could be the answer, Alan. That's a good point.
We're not quite to edible furniture, but in an odd sort of way, you're really, really close.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends on what you want to do with the material.
Well, I mean, come on. There's nothing better than IKEA meatballs.
Well,
yeah.
I would argue that point to the end
Brandon
of the earth.
does live on the cutting edge, we have to admit.
Can't do that.
All right.
Me and the Swedish company do not see eye to eye, but I had to call him out and say something nice about him for a change.
I was going to say, I figured that had to do with all the furniture you put together.
No.
Nursing homes.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, Alan.
The pain.
You've teased us. Now, what's the...
Alrighty. Well, we all know about, styrofoam, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Styrofoam's bad. Boo hiss.
What's the shelf life on that stuff?
Styrofoam?
How long does it take to break down?
It'll be around long after you're gone.
Yeah.
Styrofoam hangs around for an amazingly long period of time, and is made basically out of fossil fuels.
Oh.
It's a petroleum product.
That's a paint, yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, what if we took, much like our dear friends with the six-packs,
Yeah.
Right.
what if we took, corn hulls, cotton burrs, corn husk,
Make it more organic, or more biodegradable.
exactly, biodegradable waste.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's grind it up. Let's mold it into shape. And then let's let, the mushrooms have it.
Okay.
Let your myceliums have it.
So you can just throw it out.
Well, here's what happens. It's actually, the mushrooms are actually part of the making of the product. Because they'll
That was a
form
lot
it.
of words.
It is. They'll actually form the product, and then they'll let the mushroom spore mycelium grow around it. And once it reaches the consistency they're looking for, they'll heat treat it and stop the process.
Okay.
So now you have basically got kind of a mushroom manufactured styrofoam packing.
Alan,
All right.
could this translate into a new species of mushroom? Could we harness this? Because I love portobello mushrooms. Could we harness this and breed this into a?
He wants the portobello flavored bookcase.
No, I mean,
was
could
just
we
wa-
enhance the mushrooms so that they're even better? Because I do like
I
mushrooms.
was just wondering if I could, now lick a shelf and see
Well, Alan, I see.
and hear colors and
Well,
see music.
Yeah.
Let's just say when your cat's playing the packing,
Yeah.
you're going to be a lot happier.
Alan, I'm seeing this going in a lot of directions. Like, I think of these compost piles where you
Yeah.
throw banana peels and sticks and everything else on there. What if you start throwing, you unwrap your IKEA furniture, then you throw the stuff in the yard?
That is exactly what they want you to do.
Ah! So fertilizer. Okay.
Mushrooms definitely have a better smell than banana peels.
And, once you have tossed away the packing
Yeah.
and it begins to enter the environment, well, its little helper will come back and finish it off.
Jeez. Okay, now, Alan, I could see a twofold problem here, though. Here's the thing. So, well, you know how, like, there's those items that they're not big sellers. You go to Target or someplace, and it's like they're on clearance because they're just not moving. Well,
Right.
if you've got that Superman action figure that's just not selling and it's been up there for a year, is it going to start to develop mushrooms and stuff on the shelf? And now suddenly you've got that problem.
No, not unless you get him wet.
Well, hey, there could,
But water
somebody
damage.
could-
Water damage is water damage.
Okay.
And if you water damage a book, it'll start. Something's going to grow on it.
Yeah.
If you
Okay.
water damage anything, it's something. Nature will, as we love to say in dinosaur movies, nature will find a way.
Okay.
Somebody throw water on Joe. I want to see what grows. He might get his hair back.
Okay.
But the cool thing is, so you bought your furniture, you unpack your furniture, and well, you work around lakes and docks and stuff like
Throw
that.
your
all
garbage in the
time.
lake.
Well, let's say a piece of the packing blows off and lands on the lake. Congratulations. Now it's fish food.
Now you fed the ducks
The
and the
ducks
fish.
and the fish are looking at you going, you got any more of that?
So when you go to the lake with your loaf of bread to feed to the ducks and the fish, you might
Also
just
take
start
your
bringing
IKEA
your
packaging.
You can take your IKEA packaging and your six-pack.
No, officer, I'm not littering. I'm feeding the ducks.
Feeding the ducks.
Okay,
Yeah,
there you go.
What can we say? I mean, well done, IKEA.
Okay, good for them.
Geek Tank Radio energized by
Dark Oak Press and Media, an indie publisher and media provider offering everything from Alice in Memphis to mystery to young adult and everything in between. Get the latest at darkoakpress.com.
More Below and on 1019kissfm.com. Keyword Geek Tank. If you can nerd out to it, they're talking about it. This is Geek Tank Radio.
Allie and I have said this multiple times on this show, but we do not live in a Star Trek world.
We don't.
That's okay. After reading articles about Picard, neither do they.
Oh boy.
Oh.
But we do not trust robotics, artificial intelligence, any of that stuff. Largely for the smaller things that it's trying to be incorporated into in our lives. Ring doorbells, having
like those? I think those
Alexa
things are cool.
or whatever in
Those-
your house constantly.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
The
I
ring
have spent
doorbells
multiple-
don't bother me too much.
I have spent multiple hours watching Ring videos because they're hilarious.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
No, my roommate got a Google Home for Christmas from his girlfriend, and I'm
No,
like,
F that.
no,
Get that out of my
Nope.
house.
I have Alexa, but it's through my Fire Stick, so I actually have to hit a button before she activates.
Oh, that's nice.
That's what they tell you, sir.
Well, no, because I've tried to use her without it, and my serial actually, come back from my iPhone going, dude, she ain't studying you.
Yeah.
But it's in an Irish accent because
Yeah.
my Siri's Irish.
Mine's Australian.
I'm sorry, I got a thing for Irish.
Y'all are
accents.
weird. What are we talking about?
Yeah. Okay.
I think they digressed.
Oh, they digress,
But-
all right. Yeah.
But we now have AI infiltrating art, quote unquote,
Right.
because Warner Brothers has signed a deal for an interactive artificial intelligence that will determine not only like its release dates and stuff for its films, but what actors to hire, where to cast them, what directors to put on projects. Essentially, they are using artificial intelligence to replace casting directors, producers, etc.
Is this
And
because
Allie loves
Warner
this
Brothers
idea.
Sucks?
Well, hey.
I would have to
They're like,
say,
maybe a robot will do better.
I was gonna say.
No.
I was gonna say.
No.
Have you ever seen Kevin Feige emote? He doesn't. He is a robot.
Hey,
He's data.
Hey,
I
Andy.
hate it.
Yes.
At the top of this programming is basically the top consideration. How much money is this going to make us?
Most likely, yeah. I mean, that's always the consideration for any major company is how much profit are we going to make off of doing this thing. If we can avoid,
You don't have to give it health insurance because it's a robot.
yeah, if we
Yeah.
can avoid, having to spend a couple $100,000 on a producer or a casting director or
Well,
whatever.
I hate to delve into like the scandalous type stuff, but I don't see an AI pulling a Weinstein on anybody.
Also true.
Well, okay. Yeah.
I'm
That
sorry.
we
That's
know
the
of
biggest, that's the biggest
yet.
thing, trial in the news right now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I could see them using this for certain things, like when did we do the release dates, or how do we, which for like analyzing which markets are going to be more,
I mean, didn't they
open
use
to
like a robot-y type situation to like create Baby Yoda? They were like,
Did they?
No.
calculate the cutest things in the
No,
world
no,
to make
it was
this tiny baby.
It was Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, and they were high off their ass, and they're like, it'd be awesome.
What if Yoda was
Baby Yoda.
small?
What if Yoda, but smaller?
it was a baby Yoda.
Actually, at this point, after a comparison I saw the other day, they stole it from a Marvel comic idea where Cosmic Ghost Rider was running around with Baby Thanos, and Baby Thanos is adorable.
Is this all the way across the board on their animated, on their TV,
according to
on everything
according
they
to
do?
the article that I saw, it is everything. Warner Brothers, period.
You know what this is going to lead to? That robot man, woman, is going to start making decisions. They're going to be like, yes, AI intelligence, we trust you with all of our lives.
Yes.
And then it's going to slowly build its way up. And then it's going to be in charge of Warner Brothers because it's going to say, you know what will make you the most money is if I was the CEO of Warner Brothers and I was making all the shots. And then Disney's going to be like, what if we had a robot overlord?
No. Here's how
It's
Disney.
just going to keep going.
Here's
Didn't
how
they already do that on Futurama?
No, here's how
I mean,
Disney. Here's how Disney will do it though. Disney will make an animatronic version of Walt. That
There you
that
go.
will
Yeah,
still
they'll put his
be in
creepy
charge
little frozen
because
head
that
on
will
it.
that will
I don't like it.
that will hold all the nostalgia people and be like, oh, Walt's still in charge of Disney. No,
Put his creepy
No.
frozen head on top of it, and I
I'm
don't
gonna put a
like it.
different spin on
I'm
this.
already going to say it. Kevin Feige is a robot. How do you get that many, cookie cutter hits
Yeah.
if you're not AI?
All right, I'm going to put a different spin on this.
Okay.
This is nothing more than high-tech, high-dollar tarot cards.
Yup.
This is the exact same idea as sitting around expecting the cosmos to listen to your plea, flip over the right card, and show you the magic date to release your movie.
Nah, I'd rather there
Because
just be some
I'm thinking
little...
of an entire presidency that may have been done by tarot cards.
Wait, so Alan, so you're thinking this won't work?
Oh, I'm thinking here's what's going to happen. I think if you take any form of populist trending, at a certain level, it will be successful.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like predicting that people will like, oh, I don't know, how about a new type of chocolate donut? Let's make it chocolate on the inside and then chocolate wrapped in. Well, guess what? It's
Krispy
not
Kreme
hard
did
to
make
trend
small
that.
donuts.
You know, it's not hard to trend that, but you're never going to get innovation.
I think they've already been doing it on some level. I think everybody's been doing it.
I mean, there's always something, like, before computers were able to do it, there were always mathematicians who
I
were
would
hired
rather
to...
some little basement dweller nerd man be calculating when they should put out movies than them be trusted.
Yes.
A little
hell no.
computer person.
I don't want some little basement dwelling nerd deciding when I'm going to get my next Wonder Woman movie. I really don't, because you know when that'll be?
Never.
30/27.
Yeah.
But Andy, you're saying they're gonna decide who to cast and things like that.
Yes, they're deciding who to cast, because what
Based
they're going to look
on
at.
what you think?
Basically, what this is going to do, it's going to remove the ability for like actors to grow, for example, to become better actors, to improve upon their craft, and basically this algorithm is just going to look at, okay, cost effectiveness versus star power in terms of how much do they get a return on investment, essentially. Like if we cast Henry Cavill now because The Witcher is so successful, as opposed to when we cast him as Superman before,
when he was cheaper,
it would be when he was cheaper, it would be a better return on investment. Because his star power has gone up, therefore more people will go to the theater. Also looking at roles, that kind of thing. It's a big, huge algorithm, but it removes entirely the possibility for art.
Yeah,
and for the
no
ability
kidding.
for the human connection to be made.
We're just on our way to that China thing.
I'm going to step back and
So
say...
this is like Fantasy League movie making.
Yes! Yes!
Yeah.
I hate it. We're just on our way to the China thing. We're all going to get scores.
First of all, it's casting directors use an algorithm based on movies anyway. All they do is push a button and it says, who are people who work together good in movies? Let's see if we can get them for those roles.
Yes, that's why Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson have been in every single one of each other's movies.
There's so many.
It's also why someone thought we can do Men in Black with Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth, and it'll be amazing. And nobody wanted to see it because nobody wants to see Men in Black unless it's Will Smith
and Tommy Lee Jones.
Or Josh Brolin.
But
because he is Tommy Lee Jones.
Andy, I think there's a lot of intangibles here because I'll be honest, I'm just going to say this, and I don't want to keep dwelling on this, but like if Ryan Johnson had the attitude on social media like that that Scott Snyder had after he made his movie that was disappointing to people. You mean Zack Snyder? Zack Snyder, I'm sorry. After he made his movie,
I don't remember his name.
He was very humble. He was like, "Well, I'm sorry you didn't like," and I like Zack Snyder, but Ryan Johnson. So I'm just saying that's a factor that affects me spending money on a future Ryan Johnson movie. How do they calculate how people act on social media and stuff?
Silly. That's the entire reason I didn't go see Knives Out. Is he did it.
I'm just saying.
That's so silly.
That is
Allie,
the ridiculous, stupid thing in the world.
No, it's not. He's a director I don't like, so I didn't see his work.
No. He is a director who did a movie you don't like, which I'm sorry, as much as you... We're going to get into this anyway. Much as you claim to be a Star Wars fan, you love about 40% of Star Wars across the board.
Thanks for gatekeeping there, Brandon.
But Brandon...
I'm saying serious, based on your opinions, I've used an algorithm in my brain to determine you love about 40% of Star Wars. You not liking Ryan Johnson's Star Wars because of what he did to Luke Skywalker and the various things like Poppins Leia, I guess, means nothing when you think about Knives Out. Is first of all, it's an amazing movie, and Michael Shannon, Daniel Craig.
I know who's in it. Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Michael Shannon.
It's an amazing movie that you got. I ain't like when you did the Star Wars. I'm not going to see it.
Brandon,
that's exactly what I did, and I have every right to do it.
You do, but the fact is, it's
silly. It's silly.
Then don't bring up art.
No, Brandon, the only reason I mentioned it is...
But an AI could be making that exact
Is the AI
decision.
taking those things into account?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of intangible. That's what I'm saying.
I kind of got Andy's point that AI might.
The AI is going to take into account
and then
what
we're
they're
going to
doing
have
on
like
social
3
media.
directors who always do stuff, and it's going to suck, and then all movies are going to be the cookie-cutter things you don't like.
Right.
But that's exactly what I'm saying.
I don't get it.
But then is the AI going to tell this director, hey, you need to make a post at 8:20 a.m. saying such and such
the
about
AI
this
will do it
topic.
for him.
The AI will post it for it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like at some point it's going to take over more than just art. It's going to take over
Johnson
your
didn't
private
become
life.
a dick until well after he had death threats and everything else up the board. You know what? You give me one death threat in on Twitter, I'm going to be a complete dick to you.
No, I didn't want to dwell on Ryan. I just meant that as an example.
No, that's what it
I'm
brings
saying.
up, though.
So
the thing is that
and Allie
when it
can roll
comes
her
down to it,
eyes, but I bet she would do that about if a director said something about somebody she didn't
There's
like or
a
whatever.
difference between like
I've watched her
being
go
mean to people that are being mean to you and like
I've watched her go and watch movies from people that we've discussed how they are garbage people
Okay.
and still
like,
love the movie.
if
Yeah.
you
It's a separate.
Well, it's like the Harvey Weinstein thing you were talking about.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
I-
want anything that supports
I'm
him.
not gonna go see Harvey Weinstein movies, and I don't
Right.
watch like what's his name with the big glasses, but like
Well, I don't watch Woody Allen because it's garbage.
but
It's just
Oh,
there's a
yeah,
difference
Woody Allen.
between being like an abusive person and just like not being nice to people who are berating you and wanting you dead. Like there's a complete
No, I get
difference.
it. But anyway, but that's all a part of movie making today is social media and all. I don't know. It doesn't sound like a great.
But
I think you
but
can use it to a
I
degree.
guarantee you, part of that like social media chatter will be included in that algorithm. They'll look at that and say like,
Well,
okay, what are the
that means we're
hashtags
going to
saying
get a
about
movie
these?
about Bodie McBoatface.
Yeah, we will. But no, I think what we're going to see, I don't even really think it's going to take in. They're going to take into. All right, it's like, all right, we want this director because his movie just made a ton of money, and then you hit his social media. It's like, what actors seem really interested in doing things with him? These are what out of those actors will give you a bigger payout, which better return.
Man, I'm thinking snakes on a plane. I'm just having
Oh yeah,
snakes on
yeah.
a
Well,
plane.
no.
Twitch.
That's why you
Just-
don't give the internet anything that they want. The internet itself.
Yeah.
Because
They
the
don't know
internet
what they
wanted
want.
snakes on a plane, and we got snakes on a plane, and you know who went and saw it?
No
Nobody.
one.
Do you guys agree with me though? One of the things that make, in my opinion, one of the things that make a great film is sort of how it holds up. Like if you watch it 40 years later, does it hold up on some level? Like I could still watch It's a Wonderful Life or
yes,
Star Wars or anything because to
Dude.
me it holds up.
I am straight up with you on certain things.
Yeah.
So there are certain things that are going to be forever just because of what they are. Me and Andy, as much as me and him disagree on some of the stuff with like modern Star Wars, the two of us could sit down with New Hope tonight and be almost in tears while we're watching it
Right.
because there's a nostalgia factor that we will never outgrow because we love the idea of the fantasy.
Yeah.
And let me be honest, as much as I love New Hope, as a film, it does not hold up, but it has a special place. Now,
But see, that's an intangible. It holds up
Right.
because it strikes certain
Right.
chords in
But-
us. The characters.
but you brought
and
up
stuff.
It's a Wonderful Life, and as much as people complain about it being overshown, once it got to the point where you were only able to see it maybe once a year if
Yeah.
you didn't own it,
Right.
there are still things in that movie that will connect to you that an AI is never going to be able to duplicate.
Also, I don't know that those are intangibles. Like, I hate to break it to you, but robots and like algorithms and stuff like that. Like, they know what makes a human sad or nostalgic, or like they can figure that stuff out. Like, it's not that hard. We're not that complicated as much as we want to be.
Wait,
Like,
what? So what if they make better movies than what we have now?
that's gonna
Now
sound.
that would be
Not
interesting.
not from Warner Brothers. I mean, because
Hey, they
this
gave
is-
us the Joker.
Well,
you
yeah,
know.
but this is where again I'm in like total agreement with Andy. You're not gonna get an algorithm to give you Man of Steel because they're gonna go by your cookie cutter Superman stuff and give you a cookie cutter Superman movie.
Yeah.
And you love Man of Steel as well, Joe. I mean, and it
Yeah.
does not match with anything we've seen Superman wise except for the heart.
But Man of Steel's polarizing, right? Don't some people love it and hate
Some
it?
people love it. Some people hate it.
So they won't want a movie
It's
like
very,
that,
it's
right?
very similar. Like Batman versus Superman, it's the same way. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I love it.
Andy,
And
is-
most people, if you loved Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, you hate Justice League.
well, Andy, you just reminded me of something else. When they instituted the comics code, comics got really boring and
Yes,
safe.
yes, they did.
Could that happen here? This seems
Well,
like
the difference was the comics code, like. Well, I guess
If you
it's
read
not
a
really
50s
super different. But
comic,
the
they're
comics
pretty
code was
lame.
instituted by comic publishers themselves. It was not a, it wasn't like a government mandate of like here's how comics are going to be.
but it was sort of
instituted
by committee, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I guess in a similar
was-
way, something could happen.
Comics were fighting against the seduction of the innocents,
Yeah, they were.
and
Huh.
which, if you've ever read that, That
It's
guy
a
was
total
messed.
heap of garbage.
That guy,
I know.
that guy had some serious issues that, modern day therapy and psychiatry would have gotten him through.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than him attacking things that kids love.
Yeah, that was kind of a dumb argument. I mean, it'd be like saying all juvenile delinquents drink water, so
Well, it was
water causes you to...
It was like when,
is horrible for you.
Right.
It was like when Columbine first happened, and you had people blaming Marilyn Manson.
Or the
Like-
fact that
Or
I wore
video
a trench
games
coat.
or
Or
something
the
like
or
that.
the
blame
fact that
video
people
games.
or video games
Video
or people
game,
wearing
yeah.
trench coats or whatever. Like none of that was attached.
Right. Right.
But
I mean, these are things that, when your AI is out there, circling the drain, it's going to look at, all right, what scares people right now? Let's make a horror movie of that, with, Liam Neeson.
yeah,
Because people like Liam Neeson.
it'll be
Yeah.
like what was that? There was an episode of South Park where they were ripping on Family Guy and how Family Guy comes up with its storylines.
Oh, yeah, it's like
and it's literally just they put a chicken in a trebuchet and then they throw it at a wall.
there's also
And when it hits the wall.
manatees.
Yeah,
The
manatees with the balls
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, like where it's just completely random stuff, but
Yeah.
somehow it works. That's what this AI is going to do. It's
Yeah.
going to pick an actor. It's going to pick a plot. It's going to pick it's going to do this whole thing, and
we're
eventually
not-
you'll have 12 pieces
Yeah.
of paper in the air that it will all catch at once, and
And
they'll put together and make
we're
some
gonna
kind
end
of a
up-
picture.
Because of it, we're going to end
boy.
up losing out on things like The Lighthouse or
The Fountain, which I love.
The Fountain, which you love.
Yeah.
Anything
No,
that-
no, there will always be indie. There will always be
Well,
an
no.
alternative.
No,
there will
no,
always.
no. That's.
Not
we're
by
talking about,
Warner
We're talking about
Brothers.
from Warner itself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, there's always going to be independent filmmakers, but they're doing everything in their power across the board, whether it be
to erase them.
your streaming services or anything. Netflix is the only one buying them up. Everybody else is just saying, not worth it. And it's sad because there's a lot of good people out there that are never
Yeah.
going to get picked.
Yeah, independent filmmakers outside of like having to go to a streaming service, they don't make money, so the producers and stuff aren't buying them up.
Yeah.
Why did they even disclose this? Is there some reason you have to tell people this? Why can't they just do it and
because-
implement it and see what happens?
Well, the thing is chances are they already have, and
I think they've been using it already.
And I mean,
Yeah.
because let's just say that
That's probably how we got Joss Whedon on Justice League in the first place.
Oh,
There's
okay.
there's a certain movie that just dropped a new trailer the other day that if you watch that trailer, it ticks off all the boxes of a mainstream hit. But yet the movie looks worse now than it did from its first trailer.
Which one?
Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey. I was excited for it until this latest.
It looks pretty.
I haven't watched the latest
It
one.
looks pretty goofy.
So
Yeah.
I will admit though, I am buying the sad Harley in PJs with her hyena because that pop's gonna look good next to my other pop.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm gonna go see it because it's Savannah's favorite thing, and she doesn't watch trailers.
Really? I
so
thought Venom was her favorite thing.
she likes Venom and she likes Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn's very important to her.
Huh. Okay. Well, we'll be following this
all right, well,
story.
if
Steam
nothing
coming out of
else,
my eyeballs about that.
if nothing else, Andy will get good
Shocking.
pops.
Andy doesn't like another DC movie.
We've talked about them,
We've played them.
and now we'll show you.
The all-new Twitch channel from Geek Tank Radio is here,
Go Ready Player Geek.
where we unpack and dive into single-player story-driven games, to fighters, to multiplayer shooters, to tabletop and card games, and everything in between.
And stay up to date with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Ready Player Geek.
Check us out now at twitch.tv/ReadyPlayerGeek.
Streaming every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night at 8 Central.
They don't do reviews. But that doesn't mean they won't tell you about everything they watch. The Geek Patrol is on Geek Tank Radio.
So me and Brody have been watching this horrible Netflix social media experience called The Circle.
I hate it so much I like it.
It's a complete and utter train wreck, and I think that's why we love it.
I don't want to like it.
No. I feel about this the way I feel about.
Do you feel dirty after you watch it or
Yes.
something?
Yeah.
You feel
Yes.
guilty that you're watching garbage?
Here's the problem with the whole show.
They're dumb.
They're dumb, but it fully, really encapsulates what's happening on social media.
So it's social commentary, which is probably
It really is.
Yeah, you could look at it one of two ways. You could look at it as this as being a really cool competition show, like a new take on one of the reality TV shows.
I mean, it's a Big Brother, just you're stuck in your own room.
Yeah, no, you totally are. Or you could look at it this as saying, this is what's wrong with us.
Which is
a lot.
Big Brother.
So when you see elements of yourself in these characters, you feel bad?
No, I don't see anything of myself.
Really?
Well,
I saw you in
maybe,
a couple of
Brody.
these characters.
I hope not What was his name?
Yes,
Joey.
Yes, Joey.
Joey?
Family Man.
I love Joey.
You know, that's the thing about Joey is that he's
Bruh!
he's
Raw!
Yeah.
He's such a Gambino.
Yeah, he is the quintessential Italian stereotype.
Yes.
You know, Jim Tan Laundry kind of guy.
Right,
But he loves his family.
No,
And
he's a Jersey Shore.
And honestly, he takes, for the most part, emotionally, he takes care of 90% of this cast.
You know, it is funny though what has transpired. I only saw 5 episodes.
You saw the first 4?
Yeah, I saw the first 4 definitely.
I think at the end of the 4 is when we meet Adam.
And I haven't really watched any more since then.
It's like he shows up at the end of that first.
I had to cleanse my brain with something good to watch.
Let's talk about the way Netflix is doing this, first of all. They are dropping this 4 episodes at a time weekly.
Yeah.
So
really
on
interesting.
January 1st, we got our first 4
Bite-sized binging?
Right. And then on the 8th, we got the next 4 episodes. I've watched all 8 episodes so far. And yes, there are people there who are purposely catfishing. You know,
I love that idea.
It's a strategy.
What's catfishing? It means setting
catfishing
people up?
is when you pretend to be someone you're not.
Oh.
Now, okay, Karen.
Now, Karen was not really catfishing so much as she was just using different pictures. Everything she spoke
was her.
Was honest.
And the reason why is Karen is, we'll just say, a larger person.
She is very cute.
Oh no, she's awesome.
And she's just a badass.
I fell in love with the actual Karen, not her profile picture. Like I'm like, girl, like I wish she had enough confidence to just put herself out there because she is just so awesome. But she's right because
it's
the
a
first
social media show.
Exactly, and the first impression is everything. In fact, introducing the show, it was like, listen, you're setting up your profile. This is the only thing people are going to see if they like you or not. And you have to rank people on pictures. Yeah. We do it all the time.
And the thing is, the first set of rankings come after one group chat. No private messages or anything like that. Their first rating is basically, I've looked at your profile. I've seen what you've said in group chat.
And I've read your bio, essentially.
And like the sweetest person in the entire show in that first rating ends up last place.
Yeah. So
that says something right there, doesn't it?
Well, there's a kid on there, and honestly, if outside looking in, if you're on that show, you're like, no way somebody like that exists.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Because he genuinely cares about people. He doesn't like social media. In
his profile pic is very nerdy.
Yeah. Oh, he's a total dweeb.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he's a software engineer. He does. He creates VR stuff.
Oh no, he's totally precious. Like you love Shuby.
You fall in love with Shuby like from the get go, and then of course then you know
I feel like he's gonna turn evil. I hope he turns evil.
No.
I love an evil twist.
I don't think there's an evil bone in his body.
8 episodes in, he hasn't changed who he is.
And by the way, Shuby, spoiler alert, becomes one of the influencers
3 times in a row.
Like. People just like this kid because eventually they start realizing this kid is just a kid. Like he's genuine.
Nice.
You're saying a kid. How old is he?
He's like fresh out of college.
Okay.
You know, he graduated from UCLA.
A whippersnapper.
Yeah. Now Sammy starts off as like you just don't want to like her.
Oh, I know. And
then you start finding out more about her. And
episode
you're like,
2, I'm like, I love you.
Yeah, and I mean. There are so many good people in this, and they do kind of get rid of the biggest douchebag within the first couple episodes.
Yes, the professional basketball, the
guy
quote-unquote professional basketball player.
He also refers to himself as a chef, but when one of the girls asks him
how to poach
an egg, he doesn't know what that even means. He tells her to scramble it, and then later on he tells her he hopes she liked her poached egg.
Yeah,
you just triggered Alan.
But really, I mean, because Joey calls him out when he's looking at it and he sees the emojis he used after the chef thing. He's like, "Who puts French fries when you're a chef?"
Or you know, a French fry, a cupcake, and a pizza.
Yeah,
you know, like come on, bro.
What professional basketball player is like chowing down on cupcakes?
Yeah, he totally called him out. Thought he was a catfish. The other catfish in the room is a guy who's portraying his girlfriend.
Yeah.
On the show.
Yeah. His name is Seaborn. His girlfriend Rebecca. He's using her pictures and
trying to like talk like she would. I think
That's
it's the
crazy.
most evident of the catfish. Like
Probably.
It's pretty evident, and I kind of get frustrated.
And yet, the one person who seemed to be on the trail is Miranda.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty easy to figure it out. Joey, I think he's just a dude.
There's an episode
I like
where
him.
Rebecca and the girls are discussing menstrual cramps.
Wait a
And Seaborn's got to figure out. He doesn't. He's like, I never knew that girls talk this way. Yeah. So he starts basically describing what would happen if you had appendicitis.
Wait, hey guys, what social media
pretty bad.
platform are they actually doing this on?
Oh,
it's called The Circle.
It's called The Circle.
It's not Instagram. It's not.
It's an internal system that they have there. Now, this is based off of a British show that's been going for 2 or 3 years now. Yeah. And this is your American version of it. And wow.
So does it make like Instagram or Twitter look bad? Like, in other words, is this something that they would sponsor or not want any part of?
No, I can see Twitter making bank off of this because nothing they do is very Twitter-like, except for the hashtags.
Okay.
Now, they also play games in the midst of it. Like
parties.
Which
are weird.
When you're an influencer, you get called to the hangout where you decide who you're going to block, which is basically their
Kick
way
off
of
the show.
Kicking you off the island. And they feed you well when you go in there.
Yeah, they get sushi and all this other stuff.
Steak.
It's pretty dope.
Influencery thing.
Yeah, influencery things.
But the thing is that it's not the lavish life of being an influencer, because as soon as you get chosen, you have to go in there and figure out how to get rid of and it's very rare that they agree.
Yeah.
Until they've gone through everybody.
Here's the other thing that I really like. After you get blocked.
Yeah.
After you get blocked, the person you blocked has a chance to visit anybody. Now, they haven't had any personal contact with each other until this moment.
Yeah. You get to meet one of
in
the
their
other
apartment.
Right.
You're kind of set up in an apartment.
Okay.
You get to meet one of the other players before you leave. Only one. And
do you get to tell anybody what you found out, or you just gonna?
You could play the game, or
when Antonio meets with one of the catfish,
the professional basketball.
He meets with one of the catfish afterwards, and he makes a comment about because they get a going away video afterwards, a goodbye video, and he makes a comment about it's like
I met the catfish.
Yeah, it's like he's like. Let's just say it. I met somebody last night, and things are not what they seem.
Right. And so everybody's like, who did he meet with? Because they don't know.
So, of course, he met with Mercedes, who is Karen. And so she has to play it off as if she's not the one he came and saw, so they can't figure out who it was.
Favorites of the show, Brandon. Who you think is winning this thing?
Honestly, at the moment, I am torn between Shuby and Sammy. I really am.
I'm torn between Shuby and Karen.
Well, that just goes to prove that you are not where I'm at.
Oh, no, Karen gets voted off? No!
Spoiler.
Hate this show!
Spoiler alert, guys.
Hate this show!
Yeah, give the spoiler alert at the end of
Hate this show!
Andy, remember to hit the spoiler alert at the beginning of this thing.
Hate it!
You'll be okay, buddy.
But this really does kind of, it is a very major...
Stupid show!
It's a major commentary on, the social media.
Karen, come
That's
back!
interesting.
Geek Tank Radio energized by
Dark Oak Press and Media, an indie publisher and media provider offering everything from Alice in Memphis to mystery to young adult and everything in between. Get the latest at darkoakpress.com.
More below and on 1019kissfm.com. Keyword Geek Tank. That euphoric feeling when you found just the right binge? Let the Geek Patrol be your stream dealer as they help you find your net fix.
I was so into this show. I'm talking about the Netflix/BBC original of Dracula. It is not a... It is TV ready, okay? It's gory, though. So it passes the BBC standard of the... whatever FCC, BBC standard is.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a little loose over there.
It's a lot more lackadaisical when it comes to...
It's pretty easy when the BBC actually sets the rating system.
Yeah, they pretty much kind of like,
Yeah. They're like, if we do it, you can do it. If we don't do it, you can't do it. And if we decide you can't do it after we've done it, just listen to it.
Yeah.
It's gory, I will say that. And it's a rather... I won't say interesting take because they've kind of taken a lot of Nosferatu and a lot of like the common Dracula vampire tropes and kind of mashed it all into one amalgamation of the whole genre, if you will. And it's a Count Dracula thing where
Were there any jumping vampires?
well, he's very fast. No matter.
Alan got the reference.
Mm-hmm. That's all right.
Yeah, they climb and they scurry along and they Dracula turns into a swarm of bats, and he can turn into a wolf.
Damn Gypsy Palace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the first 2 episodes, fantastic. The last episode can get flushed down a toilet and lost at sea and buried under Transylvanian soil.
I haven't watched it yet, but it sounds like it's very much like the book then.
Yeah, so what turned?
So when he gets to modern times.
Correct.
Okay.
So you were happy, Arcane.
No, I was happy even at the reveal of like a helicopter flying overhead, right?
Okay.
And then he met a 20-something, and who was in love with death, right? Kind of deal. She's annoying.
AKA the modern goth.
Her friends are annoying.
Right.
As portrayed in media. Okay.
I wish they all got bit, ate, and stuffed in a box.
Okay.
Like everybody else, and turned into the undead, except for the fact I don't want her to become his bride and whatever. I did like Agatha Van Helsing. I hated her modern counterpart, Zoe Van Helsing. So
the casting just killed you.
No.
Or I should say the character.
The portrayal of the character.
The portrayal of the characters.
Can we say Moffat strikes again?
Oh, okay. I get that reference.
Yeah.
Big time. Okay.
I liked Count Dracula in the first 2 episodes.
Right.
The 3rd episode, he turned into a just annoying snur. I hated him. I was like, well, you lost all your charm.
You were so cool 100 years ago.
Yeah,
now you're just
wit,
a
your
boor.
charm, and everything.
This is
now
a
you're-
Moffat show?
I believe so.
Vampires are tricky to get right, aren't they?
I don't know. If he would have kept his charm from the first 2 episodes, I think I would have still liked it. But because it ended like it did,
Yeah. Inconsistent writing.
yeah, it was just they kind of lost the plot in the 3rd
That's gross.
episode. So
Somebody yelled, "Wrap it up."
yeah, they're like, oh hey, you know what?
We ran out of money.
We're losing
Yeah.
budget here, guys.
Yeah.
Can we just tie this up really
Yeah,
quick?
wrap it up, guys.
And that's the way it felt.
You're not getting the 6
Here you go.
episodes.
Stephen
There
Moffat.
are 3 people, with writing credits on the show: Bram Stoker,
Right.
Stephen Moffat, Mark Gatiss.
Oh, so the Mark episodes were good, and the other guys' episodes were probably good. And then
You know what? I
Stephen
didn't even pay
Moffat-
attention to that
First of
credit.
all, Bram Stoker wrote the book.
Yeah.
So, and then Moffat and Gatiss drive it into the ground. That's what they do.
I like Mark Gatiss.
And
You
His
probably
episodes-
liked his 2 episodes.
Yeah, I
no,
was like,
actually, you would the way that they work as writers on this. It looks like you would have probably liked all of the Gatiss elements in the 3rd episode. But I think the part you really loved, Brody, was Bram Stoker.
Yeah, the 17 and 1800s. I really enjoyed those.
Okay.
Yeah.
The 2000.
So in other words,
18.
watch
whatever.
the first 2 episodes and then pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah, he's still lost at sea. Let's just leave it at that.
So
Leave him lost at sea. He'll come to shore sooner or later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So
When they figure it out.
That being said, did you watch anything you liked so far?
Like that. Watch The Circle. What else did I watch? I watched Siren. I enjoyed the Siren.
Is that the Killer Mermaid show?
Yeah.
I do like that show.
Yeah.
It's a freeform show, so it's
It's weird. It's so
Oddly,
weird because it's
it is a freeform show when you look at it and go,
it's so TV-14.
Who did you steal this from?
Yeah, it's so TV-14. It's so great.
I love that about freeform shows is they will freak you out, and then you get that little freeform thing at the very end, and you're like, wait, what?
What the hell? So it is very family friendly. Like my kid walked in and he's like, "What show is this?" And I'm like, "Don't watch this. I think it's scary. I can't. Maybe
I'm not sure.
I'm so confused.
It's on the borderline edge of scary.
Yeah.
There's one of my favorite shows from the past few years is called Dead of Summer, and it's a horror show from Freeform, killer camp, spooky stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it is just this side of scary. So I mean, your kids could watch.
Yeah. I mean, it's
maybe not your kids. Your kids are a little young.
Well, you know what? My kids have just this overarching imagination.
Well, they do have you.
Yeah, that's true.
You
Pretty
protect
scary.
them from the scary.
Yeah.
The spooks.
I started jumping into a lot of Amazon Prime shows, and I
Yeah.
just can't find one that I'm digging. I popcorned a lot this week.
Yeah. I watched Spinning Out.
Oh, yeah?
Bipolar ice skater and her bipolar mother and crazy sister. And I'm not.
I
want to
watch that so bad.
I'm not going to get into any of the details
Yeah,
because I don't
don't
want to give any
spoil
spoilers. But from episode 1, I was hooked.
Yeah.
And let's just say it is awesome to see January Jones in something where they don't make her up to look like the perfect woman like they did in Mad Men
Right.
or in X-Men First Class when she was playing Emma Frost. She looks like a mom.
A human?
Like a human. And it's just, I didn't recognize her at first. And then I
Yeah.
was like, holy crap, that's January Jones. And I was like, boom.
Yeah.
The whole show
I'm excited.
is good.
I loved the UK skins as a young whippersnapper, so that the main girl, I can't think of how to pronounce her name, but
One show that I
Love
really
her.
enjoyed, you just reminded me, Brandon,
You're
was
going to go
Cheer.
into cheer.
oh, I want to watch that too. I'm so excited.
Oh, as I've been involved with that whole clique. Okay, I have many Cheer friends. Okay, hashtag Go Rebelettes. Wow, it is a real show. I want them to do a band show like that because it totally opens the window and your people's eyes of going, oh wow, that's what they put up with.
I
And
love
it's true.
documentary reality type
Yeah.
shows about sport things. I love it so much.
Now, I want to give everybody a recommendation. This is an NBC show. It's only available on their website right now. The show itself doesn't debut until the middle of February, and that's Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist.
Oh, I'm excited about this.
I can't do it.
Oh,
No?
It was so good.
Couldn't watch Gallivant. I can't do the singing shows.
Oh, I love them.
can't.
I love them. I'm such a
I also didn't.
sucker
I
for
did.
'em.
I just. There's not things that I enjoy. I don't think they're bad. It's just not a thing. I
Not
can
your cup
sit-
of tea.
Yeah. I was like, I can't watch it.
It's not your cup of tea.
Well, and that's
I'll
the thing.
die.
Is you'll never have to worry.
I'll die.
You'll never have to worry about stuff like that in Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist because the songs that they sing.
It's top 40 songs, right?
Right. Because there's a point where Peter Gallagher sings True Colors, and it brought me to tears.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
I love it. I love
Okay, 'cause
Glee
first of
too.
all,
I was
see,
such a sucker for Glee.
Even when
Never watched Glee.
Peter Gallagher plays a complete douchebag,
Yeah.
I love him in everything he is.
You
He
got your
is that role.
true colors.
But
I sing along with the shows
all right,
too.
here, a
I'm
little
such
bit, a little bit of
goob.
spoiler. He's her dad. He plays her dad.
Yeah.
And he is stuck in a fugue state.
Oh no! So he can't
But
talk.
he hears everything. They're taking care of him. And this is his first communication with her in forever as he bursts into song because after an earthquake during an MRI, Alan, I'm sure the science doesn't add up. She starts hearing his innermost thoughts through song.
I
And
hate
when
that
she's walking
so
down the
much.
street and everybody is singing Help by the Beatles and she's just trying to get away from it all.
Yeah.
It's, oh, God.
That sounds like a fever dream that I would want to wake up from ASAP.
Yeah, does it
can't
ever get
wait.
annoying listening to that? It sounds cool for about 5 minutes, but
Well, it's,
Dude, did you ever watch Glee?
well,
a little bit.
Well, the thing
For
is,
about 5 minutes.
yeah.
not every innermost thought is heard. Not every, and it's like,
It's not all
and
put
she
together.
can't,
Oh, okay.
she can't just choose to hear it.
They
It's
didn't
just
pay
like
that
so.
many
Right.
royalties.
But I mean,
Okay.
you got Jane Levy, who I love since Suburbia, or what? No, is it? Yeah, whatever. I can't remember the name of that show, but it was her and Jeremy Sisto as her dad. It doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
It's got Lauren Graham from Gilmore Girls.
Love Lauren.
I do
course,
love Lauren Graham.
Peter Gallagher. Her brother. All I can remember is he was the creepiest serial killer ever on Bones. Booth shot half his face off at one point. I can't
I
remember
love
the
Bones.
actors. But
See, I didn't like Bones.
What? It's
Yeah.
so good.
I hate Law and Order. I hate Bones.
Oh.
I hate
mostly
all those
because
shows.
Birdie does a lot of
We're just-
illegal things, and he doesn't really want anybody to know about it.
I hate
Different
SVU.
people.
I hate them all. I'm like, yeah. The only part I like about CSI is the intro songs because it's
That's
the Who.
funny.
Yeah, well, back to Glee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Who.
You went back to Glee. You're singing
You
along.
watch all the campy sing-along shows. I'll watch all the serial killer murder shows.
Except I will say this: hate High School Musical, the musical, the show.
High School Musical, the series, is just.
Sounds
Garbage.
terrible.
God, it's awful.
You know what else is actually kind of bad?
What?
Encore.
Yeah, pretty bad.
I love Kristen Bell, but I can't watch Encore.
Yeah.
I finally watched The Witcher this week. I thought it was fine.
She is the calmest person.
Off the ceiling, about to like.
I did not like. I thought it was good. I will say that my boyfriend had to Google the timeline situation, and if I had been left to my own devices, I would not have put anything together until the very end, and I still probably would have been like,
Don't spoil it. I
I'm
haven't seen it.
confused about this. I
Allie,
thought this was already happening.
That is how you put it. I didn't not like it was such a significant other way of putting. I hated it. I just don't want to say I hated it.
I'm excited for the next season, but like I don't think 2021 is a real year that's ever gonna happen. So like, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
the numbers don't make sense in my
the
brain.
fact we're not going to get it until at least the end of 2021, possibly 2022.
This is such BS.
Those years don't exist. To
Yeah,
me.
like come on.
That's too far in the future.
We're in the wrong 20s, Sam.
Well, I took a revisit back to I had to go visit Neil Gaiman for a little bit.
Oh no, we're done.
And Sir Terry Pratchett, and look at The Omen.
I love The Omen.
Good Omens. Good Omens.
Good Omens was amazing.
All I got to say is, wow.
I just like The
Do
Omen.
you really need to be that British?
Yes.
I mean, for a show technically taking a humorous look at the end of everything, wow. It just, it is just good and evil through the auspices of being totally British.
I had a hard time getting into that show.
Well, I mean, it's
never
really
finished
not.
it.
It's not for the non-Anglophile.
But I love Doctor Who.
That's a double negative. So it's for the Anglophile.
Don't worry, Allie. It's you've got to be introduced to some more Pratchett. Like the Hogfather. I think you'd love the Hogfather, especially when Death disguised as Santa gives a girl a sword. Anyway.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
But no, Alan, it is
so
British.
It's a great show. Watch it. You'll enjoy the acting. And David Tennant is unhinged.
I love him so much.
It's just literally, but here's your leash. We're taking it off of you.
Run, baby, run.
Channel your inner Robin Williams and go be the best you can be.
All right. I want to jump back for a second, though, to Allie's discussion of The Witcher. Because I had a YouTube rabbit hole, and I blame Andy partly. And that's because...
Don't spoil this.
No. That's because I have watched every friggin' cover of that song.
Oh, that song wasn't even that good, also.
Oh my gosh, Allie, run! 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 Get out now, Allie!
Hold on.
It was like fine.
Oh my gosh, no!
I don't think.
Allie, save yourself!
I think I now know the easiest way to torture Allie is to tie her to a chair and make her listen to the library bards for like hours on end.
Wait, I'm confused. So does Andy like The Witcher? Because he's not.
Yeah, The Witcher. The Witcher was great.
He fanboys so hard over what's his head.
No,
I like Henry Cavill too.
Henry Cavill.
Cavill is a beast.
But
but he seems like a cool guy too. Well, don't. Yeah, I'm just saying he seems like a cool guy.
Joe was very uncomfortable.
Okay, yeah.
That being said, I have now heard.
I'm a very straight man, but I have a huge man crush on Henry Cavill.
All right.
Okay.
That being said, I have now heard I have heard a full a cappella version of
God.
I have heard a heavy metal version. I have heard a jazz solo version. I have heard
Instrumental version?
Yes.
I'm sure the instrumental version's great.
She doesn't like the song. It's brilliant. But she doesn't like musicals either, apparently.
She was never
so
in
it's
the
okay.
SCA.
Yeah, bards just were never going to be a thing I was going to enjoy.
Yeah. Well,
Which is really weird, 'cause
to
you-
your point,
in
I
every-
wanted to stab the bard in the head
I was
anyway.
going to say, which is really weird, because in every other instance, you were the ultimate hipster until it comes to bardom.
No. Well, I also didn't like the way he treated the bard. I thought he was annoying, but I thought the Witcher was a little bit grumpy. Just a little mean to the little bard man.
You wanted to stab the bard in the head too, Josh.
You have obviously also never been in a D&D campaign that had a bard.
Oh, wow.
Because that is how you treat bards.
Andy, I am changing my character to bard.
No, just the mouse.
No, your wife is the bard.
Oh yeah,
Why
damn.
would your wife be the bard? You seem more bardy.
No, she likes to annoy me with it.
That's fair.
It's called purgatory on Earth.
This has nothing to do with that, but you reminded me of something, Brandon. When I was at the promo table for the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention once,
He's gone off the rails.
This guy was dressed as the Mad Hatter, and he stayed in character, and he stood at the booth for 15 minutes annoying me.
That is
and
Hattie,
I'm like,
and he is the guy who used to be at the Ren Fair.
He reminded me of a bard, though. He was so... I wanted to throw something at the guy. I'm like, can you move along?
Completely a bard, and as much as the bard has their place because they boost morale and that gives your character bonuses.
I thought they were there to be eaten somewhere in a Monty Python
adventure.
adventure.
Bards as the shield.
But I'm also based on the timeline that I was very confused by. I guess he was with that bard for like a long time?
Yeah.
Like years? Many years? 14?
Many years.
The only good bard is Daredevil in 1402, the Neil Gaiman alternative Marvel book. But anyway.
Toss the coin to your witcher.
We've talked about them.
We've played them.
And now we'll show you.
The all-new Twitch channel from Geek Tank Radio is here.
Go Ready Player Geek,
where we unpack and dive into single-player story-driven games, to fighters, to multiplayer shooters, to tabletop and card games, and everything in between.
And stay up to date with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Ready Player Geek.
Check us out now at twitch.tv/ReadyPlayerGeek.
Streaming every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night at 8 Central.
It's time.
Their hats are made from Marvel foil covers from the 90s.
Now, stand back for your own safety.
It's time for another deep dive into Conspiracy Nation with the Geek Patrol here on Geek Tank Radio.
Well, Brody, you and I have covered. We've been covering Saturnians, lizard people. We've been covering invaders from without.
Outside.
You could say outside invaders. Well,
extraterrestrials.
Yeah. What do you call this? Intra-terrestrials?
Sure.
That we're dealing with today?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think medicine calls those parasites, but we
this
checking.
This conspiracy is not new. It's slowly been evolving since the year 1590 when Hans Lippershey, I think I said his name right, invented the microscope. There's debate whether he invented it or not. Whoever invented it, that's what started it.
You're the jerk.
Yeah.
No, they just uncovered it, Joe. It's been going on since the dawn of time.
Yeah, no, they just started to discover. We're talking about a civilization called the Nanitians, like based on the word nanite. Alan is acting a little smug over there because he's been slowly giving us information about nanite technology and nanite, the future, our future with nanites, basically, you could say. Well, so what's happened is they're small invaders. They're microscopic beings that one thing that always irritates me about these space movies and stuff is they always make humans look dumb. Like Spock is always talking down to, like, the Vulcans think they're way better than the humans, right?
Well,
I'm a proud human being, and I think we have a lot of potential.
I would rather be a Vulcan.
Okay, well, anyway, these Nanitians, you know how they say we only use 10% of our brain?
Yeah, that's BS. Come on.
No. The Nanitians have found a way to inhibit our brains and control us, basically. So that's at the heart of this conspiracy.
I thought that was called social media.
Well, bingo. There you go, Alan. That's the thing. So what's going on here is the Nanitians were just sort of chugging along. They live in several areas. They live in water, basically, because what are we? 70% water, right?
They're like amoebas.
They're very small. I don't know the term for it, Alan. I don't know how far you got to look down.
But they're a
on
multi-cell
microscopic
organism or a single-cell organism?
Well, I mean, they're pretty. I don't know. I'm only uncovering this. I'm not interested in the science. I'm interested in their motivation. So basically, they were living in the water.
Politician.
Well, they were living in the water.
Right.
Life was rough. They get eaten by fish. It's unstable.
So they're like plankton.
Right.
There you go.
Then they discovered...
That explains why Plankton's so angry.
Yeah, Plankton's always mad because he's a Nanitian.
Then they discovered the human race. It's warm. It's comfortable in there. These beings will take you wherever you want to go. It's a safe haven for the Nanitians, so they could move their families in there. And so basically we have these microscopic civilizations living inside of us, right?
That's Tauntaun.
Yeah. Well, it's in their best interest to basically make us dumber than we are, right?
Are they just going to start self-destructing people?
Well, that's the
Like
concern,
lemmings?
Allie.
Well, you know when you
Joe,
can't pass a lemming.
It's
Joe,
okay. Yeah,
we have people on this planet who believe that the Earth is flat.
there you go. Bingo.
We can't get any dumber than we already are.
We had
Oh, he's saying that those are the Nanitians, buddy.
see
They're in
Andy.
their little brains.
Andy,
they
I
think the world's flat.
I've been giving you a lot of.
Have you ever seen?
buddy?
Have you ever seen the episode of SpongeBob SquarePants where Plankton gets into SpongeBob's brain and he's controlling SpongeBob and he's making SpongeBob mad?
Exactly. It's
Angry
like
Bob.
that movie Inside Out, where the control mechanism, where they live in the headquarters. Yeah.
By a bing, by a boom.
I mean, I understand what I'm saying.
Hands
so
on man some candy.
So Andy, you're not wrong. Basically, we look at the stupid. Okay, Earth is a paradise. Just hear me out. Earth should be the most. I mean, people travel across the universe
I'm
to
gonna
get
let you
to
stumble
Earth.
over this, Joe, and
No.
I'm going to give the perfect example.
Earth is great.
Courtesy of
Humans
Brandon.
have all this potential, and what are we fighting over? We're fighting over Star Wars movies. We're fighting over
Comic books.
just dumb things, and making enemies out of people. Well, that's all the work of the Nanitians. They're making us dumber than we need to be.
Andy, Joe,
Okay.
everybody in the room, this is courtesy of Brandon. You ever seen the movie Osmosis Jones?
No.
Yes.
I love Osmosis Jones.
Nanitians!
Okay.
No.
I didn't see it, but now I'm going to have to see it.
Oh,
So-
You never saw me?
I love how we have to like put our own stupidity as a race and a species upon something else as opposed to taking responsibility for it.
Well, it's nicer.
Well, but
We
see,
blame them.
but
Do you want me
Andy,
to hate you, or do you want me to hate the plankton in your brain, Andy? Those are your
see, Andy, it's kind of like this, though.
Choose the plankton, man. Choose the plankton.
Andy, I'm
Not
not.
a lightsaber.
I'm actually celebrating the human race in this because here's the thing. Because they're not in full control. They're inhibitors, but we are still free thinking beings.
Oh.
It's kind of like gravity, Alan. Gravity makes us stronger, right? Because we have to resist it. We
Well,
have
it
to.
keeps us from floating off the planet.
It
Start there.
exercises our muscles. Well, our
That's the
fight.
logic of Edgar Rice Burroughs and Princess of Mars, at least.
Yes.
Okay, but our
Gravitational
fight
change.
against the Nanitians is actually making us stronger as a people, and and basically what's happening is there was a benevolent group of Nanitians back near the beginning of the 20th century that said we can't keep treating the humans this way. We've got to start helping them. So boom, we get the technological revolution. Right.
Yeah, I'm tired of fleas, is what they're trying to say.
Now what's going on is there's a civil war among the Nanitians because look at all the advances we've made over the last century and stuff. So there's the good group and then there's the bad group. So I'm just saying now that we're aware of the problem, we can investigate, more deeply.
So if you have a doctorate, no Nanitians.
Huh?
You
Yeah.
have a doctorate,
No,
no
you just have
Nanitians.
low Nanitians.
You just dropped out of high school. Many Nanitians.
Many Nanitians.
Movies like Inside Out, where we see these little creatures controlling that girl's
That's their
brain.
way of saying
Those
that
are
we
the
exist.
rebel Nanitians.
Those are
trying
the
to
good
show us.
Nanitians putting together, help inspiring that guy to make that story.
So it's like white Martians and green Martians.
Is it? Yeah. I don't know the difference with those guys, but yeah. Is that from Martian Manhunter? I don't know. I didn't know they were broken down by white and green Martians. I thought they
throw
were
him
just
the
different.
I don't see color in
softball you can possibly right between the eyes.
Hey, I blame the Nanitians in my brain.
That was
so.
very progressive.
But Brody, this is something that
This explains why you trip sometimes over
Yeah.
nothing, and you're like, "What the hell?"
It's
Yeah.
them reminding you they're in charge.
Yeah.
The floor is flat. Don't worry about it. Don't.
Yeah.
No, it's just-
no, absolutely.
And Nanitian was trying to eat and drive.
Yeah.
Who do you think invented?
my bad.
Who do you think invented Twitter? All that stuff. The Nanitians run that. That's
I could see like a Nanitian like behind the wheel. Oh crap! My bad.
so.
Whoa.
But
Mine needs to get away from walls.
So, like, when people get into fist fights, is that like the robots fighting?
Well-
like big.
Oh,
big-
yeah,
Like Real Steel.
yeah,
Yeah,
Real
it's
Steel. That's
Real
what I'm thinking
Steel,
of.
Real Steel or Power Rangers, where they're like,
Or Rock'em Sock'em.
Yeah.
Rock'em Robots.
And like I say, they're not in full control. We still, it's those inhibitors.
Does the
Like,
Nanitians
Gundam
watch me while I
suits.
pee?
Huh?
Well, yeah, they would let you do everything.
They don't care about that, bro. They live in water, Allie. They don't care about a little,
We're fleshy, squishy things.
I hope they close their eyes while I'm in the shower. That makes me uncomfy.
Yeah, but
now you're gonna be showering with like clothes on. You're like, take that, Indonesians.
Yeah.
Close your eyes, they can't see. They can't see out of your eyes.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I just gotta close my eyes while I take a shower.
They can see through your pores, Allie.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so anyway, that's what I've discovered, and so look for more. This is going to have to be worked into the Geek Tank conspiracy list.
Joe, I just imagine you like doing woodwork, just with a thought bubble above your head.
Yeah.
With all these pictures playing out.
Okay.
I think you guys just remember, he works in a garage and there are fumes.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Geek Tank Radio energized by
Dark Oak Press and Media, an indie publisher and media provider offering everything from Alice in Memphis to mystery to young adult and everything in between. Get the latest at darkoakpress.com.
More Below and on 1019kissfm.com. Keyword Geek Tank. There's always those stories that defy labels. Thankfully, there's the GTR Random Roundup.
Let's wander off to Siberia.
No, again?
The city of Tyumen.
So cold, though.
Allie gave the titanium kitty Tink Tink.
Poor little Tink Tink.
Well, poor little Tink Tink has got some friends.
Oh, does he?
Well, yeah, it's the story of the three little pigs.
Titanium paws?
Titanium paws?
Nope, they broke out. They got loose from the farm. They walked through the snow, found them a grocery store, walked into the local supermarket, and smacked over a couple of big old bottles of cognac onto the floor and started having a good time.
There you go, piggy, piggy.
Wait a minute, Alex. So they walked past the aisles with all the food and everything, and they went straight for the
Headed
booze?
straight for the hoop.
They are Siberian
I was
pigs.
about to say they're technically Russian pigs.
Oh, there you go. They got to keep warm.
These little piggy went to market and got drunk.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they did.
Andy, would you call them communist pigs?
Oh, there you go. Were they able to get any? I mean, were they able to down this stuff before the cops showed up? Or?
Oh yeah, here's your picture right here.
Good,
Piggy's
good
having a good
bacon.
time in the cognac aisle.
Yeah.
Wait, what do they? So they break the bottles
And start slurping.
and hopefully don't cut them.
They're pigs. They're pigs, Joe.
They probably eat the glass, right? Okay. Yeah.
Pigs can eat anything, literally anything.
Yeah.
My slop is slop.
Those aren't very little pigs.
We
either.
promised we weren't going to tell that story, sir.
Yeah.
It's funny, the piggy ate the piggies.
Yeah. I like pigs. They're
One
fun.
bite away from severing his Achilles tendon.
All right. Well, good for them, man. I don't know what a liquored up pig does, Alan, after that. I mean, do they sleep it off or do they get rowdy?
They sleep it off. That's it.
They're
Drunk
little
pig for the
pigs,
pig.
baby.
Well, it says here that they were helped after they had finished off a couple of bottles. They were a little bit more amenable and were guided out of the store. So,
Time to go home, pig. Just starting, man.
Good for them. Yeah. All right.
Joe?
All right. Well, mine's in Las Vegas. It involves human greed and stupidity. So
So Vegas?
So
Sounds
yeah,
like
Vegas,
a
yeah.
night of Vegas, baby.
we don't do a lot of Vegas stories, though, do we?
No,
This
because
is-
what
Because
happens in
everything
Vegas
we talk
stays in
about happens
Vegas.
in Florida.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, Las Vegas firefighters discover an illegal gas station in a guy's backyard.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
This is awesome, by the way.
Okay, but
This guy's a hero.
Yeah.
No,
the
no,
hose. No, here's why it's so he's such a hero, Joe.
Yeah.
It's because the hose is long enough to get curbside hookup.
No, Brody. So here's the thing. This is apparently a trend. Yeah. So they have they have the garden hose, and then they have an attachment on the end. I'm thinking it's just like your sprayer or something, right? to
Yeah.
do curbside pumping. Well, so these guys they use stolen credit cards. They purchase a bunch of gas. They put them in tanks. They put them in their backyard and sell gas. Okay.
Steal from the rich and give to the poor, baby.
They're like Robin Hood, man.
Okay. Many questions emerge here, Brody.
Well,
For one thing.
wait. We don't know that the credit cards that they stole were from rich people, first of all.
Okay,
Got a
Alan.
credit card in Vegas.
Alan, you know a little something about the mechanics of building this thing. For one thing, making a contraption that would do this would cost you more money than you're going to make on the gas, in my opinion. I mean, the pump,
Dude, think
the
about it.
whole...
If you sell, like,
whole-
gas right now, especially in Vegas, gas is probably around, like, $3.50 or $4 a gallon.
Yeah, $4.
So if you're selling gas at $2.50 a gallon,
Well, it depends upon how
Then
you
that's spending
pressurize.
money to get the gas.
If it's a simple pump pressurization, I hate to say it, you can get into your local, farm supply store.
You can use your mouth, really.
Yeah, no,
I don't know, man.
You could. That's how people siphon gas out of other cars.
Well, I mean,
I heard Allie say use your mouth, and I was thinking Vegas. And
nope.
Yeah, I don't.
Nope,
Okay.
walking away.
I don't know, man.
I was just thinking, a simple water pump system. They would have the equipment would be available in a desert.
Okay.
To make this usable. So, no, it is not cost prohibitive to pump gas from your backyard.
What about when your next door neighbor's house or their barbecue grill starts on fire and they grab a hose as quickly as they can to put the fire out and they accidentally get a hold of this thing?
I'm fairly certain that the odds of that being the case are probably
And
1
also,
in
like,
God
what do you-
knows what.
Gas smells bad.
Yeah.
You have a hose and you're like, this is for sure water.
It's gonna
It
smell.
smells like gas.
Unless there's nanites involved,
I mean, I think it's a terrible business model, but whatever. So
I just heard the word "foomp." That's all I heard.
Well, speaking of fumes,
here
we
we
go
go.
to North Carolina, where there's a North Carolina town that's apparently called Kill Devil Hills.
Yes.
Nice.
Which is my new favorite town name, by
I
the
love
way.
that
the
name.
name of your new band.
Is that,
Yes.
is that a town
Kill
from,
the
straight from
devil.
hell?
Yeah.
So if you happen to drive past Kill Devil Hills in North Carolina,
Right next to You Got a Pretty Mouth and Bumble.
you probably spotted a massive $2.8 million bong.
Nice.
I think the people from Florida are moving to North Carolina. We've been reporting here a lot lately, so okay.
However, it is not actually a bong, they swear. It's not mine, man.
It's a pipe, man. It's a water pipe.
It's a water
base.
tower. They claim it's a water tower.
Yes.
So this thing's the size of a water tower. It is a water tower.
It is a new water tower for the Outer Bank town's swelling population of 6,600 residents.
Look at the stem.
Look at the picture. It's
So, Andy,
it is a bong.
instead of the big round container holding the water being up high, it's down low.
It's on the bottom.
Okay, that wouldn't work. Go ahead.
They made a water
For
tower.
gravity, that's
But
somebody's
on
trolling
casual
people.
inspection, it certainly looks like a giant quote water pipe.
Huh.
It's for my
It's for flowers, my dude.
It's for your glaucoma.
glaucoma, bro.
Currently, the project appears to boast a bubble base, a long ice chamber, and stem just waiting to get loaded
big
with the
ice
world's
water?
biggest bowl of weed. What?
It's a big ice water?
No, ice chamber.
Yeah. They're making a big old ice water.
Everything's better with the bag of weed.
That's a bad design. I'm sorry. Because the idea with the
What?
water tower is the water's supposed to be up high, above the elevation,
Well,
so that
okay.
when you open the valve, the pressure pushes it down.
but then your stuff
This is
gets
at
all wet
ground
in the
level.
stem
Oh,
if
okay,
it's up high.
so here's what
There's
it
no
says.
water. They're going to have lousy water pressure in North
Here's-
Carolina.
How are you
What
going
they
to get a
say.
flame under there?
Here's what
Yeah.
they say. According to
the
no,
earth.
it's built. No, it's built on a geyser.
Okay.
According to the city of Kill Devil Hills, the new water tower's smoked out look is temporary.
Oh, they haven't put it together
The
yet.
bubble base at the bottom is the storage tank typically found on the tops of water towers. For easier painting and sealing, the construction team is keeping the tank down below.
Okay.
Once the tower is complete, sometime by the end of November, the 40,000-gallon tank will be hoisted to the top, making the tower no longer resemble a bong.
Oh, we'll see there. I knew there was a logical
on the
explanation. Boo. So it's a non-story, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, but
Unless
somebody...
you're driving by now and it looks great.
Yeah, it's awesome. You're like,
Geek
whoa,
Tank
I
road
found
trip.
the coolest
Geek
town
Tank
ever.
road trip. Let's go.
Well, hey, while we're out there, we can stop by Huntsville, Alabama,
Oh.
and take part in a little buffet.
Buffet.
Buffets.
It's a buffet where the Meteor Buffet in Huntsville, Alabama prides itself on its wide selection of Chinese and seafood, along with affordable prices. The reviews on Yelp are pretty enthusiastic. All right, it's not a bad restaurant in itself. Pretty loyal following there in the Meteor Buffet. Got your sushi, steamed buns, hibachi, and of course, the king of the sea, king crab legs. And this is where we find our problem here, folks.
Yeah, waiting for the
Crab
hook
legs
here.
at buffets are dangerous, man.
Bingo. Because you eventually kind of run out, or somebody has a few too many. Enter in, what's her name? Chiquita Jenkins and John Chapman, who are partaking in the all-you-can-eat-ness of the crab legs and got into a little fisticuffs.
Oh, no.
Because somebody like John Chapman decided to tower the plate and leaving Chiquita Jenkins with not enough. Or so.
Okay, you sure that's not a pseudonym for Joey Chestnut?
No.
Is he going undercover here?
According to Huntsville police officer Gerald Johnson, who, by the way, happened to be eating dinner at the restaurant when the fight happened,
Classic.
John Chapman and Chiquita Jenkins took the metal tongs and started using them as fencing swords on each other.
I love it.
To quote, it's
Oh
not
my
something
gosh.
you typically hear. Excuse me, this is Huntsville, Alabama. Ain't something you typically hear if you can imagine a fencing match per se, but yeah, they were going at it pretty good.
So it was a civilized conflict. That's pretty cool,
On
man.
God, that's law! May I say to thee, slink, slink, slink.
I hope that.
There's for sure some etiquette at buffets, and if there's like not a lot in the little tray, you just take a little bit. You just take a little bit and you move on. You save some for someone else.
Coming.
Etiquette, schmetiquette. Okay, I want to see video. Do they have surveillance
It's not like
video?
these are
of
the last
fight?
crab legs in the universe.
It's Huntsville, Alabama, Joe. The CCTV is probably on a potato.
See, this is why.
Just put a cup in the corner.
This is why you avoid buffets, especially the past couple.
Exactly.
Like this gentleman here from Lawrenceville, Georgia. The unknown assailant, because I am going to say assailant, who broke into a Georgia Taco Bell on Christmas Day.
Nice.
He climbed in through the drive-thru window, made
Good
some
move.
food using the fryers, then took a nap on the restaurant floor.
As you do.
Now, prior to leaving about 3 hours later, he did steal a laptop and a tablet.
Oh, come on, man.
Now, all right, so, but I'm sorry, I've been in a Taco Bell. I've been in a Taco Bell as it opens and is relatively clean.
Yeah, who would
The
sleep on
last
that
place
floor?
I'm going to sleep is on the floor of a Taco Bell.
Yeah,
I'd sleep
no
in the-
kidding.
No.
Sleep on the
Before he
tables.
went here, he came from North Carolina.
Yeah, he was hungry.
A little peckish, a little snack.
That is one hell of a ride. I guess he was looking for a White Castle and just couldn't.
He just kept driving and driving and
Like,
driving.
This will work.
That's why they need to be open on Christmas Day, right?
I
mean,
also would like to eat Taco
Christmas Day,
Bell.
no place was open. The first place he found was
That's
Taco
it.
Bell in Georgia.
That's it. Me and Andy are opening a taco truck business for Christmas
Only
Day.
open on Christmas Day.
Only open on Christmas Day. Well, no. We're
There
going
you
to
go.
open on the holidays that Taco Bell is closed.
Okay.
Not many.
There's not many, but yeah.
It's like the original concept for Holiday Inn.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Road sign. Okay. All right. It needs a little polishing, but hey, it's a better business model than that portable gas station at your house, I think.
Well,
So-
it all depends. As long as you make sure you have the right nozzle on the right hose, you don't accidentally blow up the barbecue.
You'll be fine.
That's true in life too.
Yeah.
Well, we keep the right nozzle on the right hose here at Geek Tank Radio, and I think we succeeded this week, too, as well. So, anyway, before we burn anything down, we're going to get out of here. So, until next week, we are the Geek Patrol, and I am Joe Thorderson.
I'm Allie Diggs.
I'm Alan.
I'm Brody.
I'm Andy.
And I am Brandon, reminding you to check in with us next season when Brody's going to investigate multiple Earths.
Geek Tank Radio. More below and on 1019kissfm.com. Keyword Geek Tank.